Alright, here's my vlog for the 9th of September, May 2023 on, just a second, April 10th. Oh my god, it's the 10th. Monday, 1:43 p.m. I was going to do, because it's Monday, I was going to do business today. Trying to sell my car radio, which I had 1 week. It was in my car 1 week. I used it like a couple times. I noticed the subwoofer. I didn't use it because I'd only drive it to the store once a day, a couple times a day, to get my energy drink. And I only noticed the subwoofer like the day before I had to sell it. So perfect timing. Perfect timing. So, because my mother just goes and gives away $16,000 on a phone scam. So, 4,000 of it was mine. So, what was I saying? Can't remember how I got started. So yesterday, I guess my brain's not working. I was under a lot of kind of a stress yesterday. My computer, I don't even know if I got that much done yesterday. My computer was just spinning around all day. One thing that I find is that, and there's nothing wrong with my computer or Dreamweaver or anything, but one thing that I find is that if I use Dreamweaver too much, like if I work too much on my Dreamweaver, the Dreamweaver will get tired. Like the computer program gets tired before you do. And so, yeah, because like I was making, I was putting this side grid on my website. So I went and pasted it on all the pages, and then I went in and I would just cut and then paste it back on inside of it. And so I was doing that, and I was doing it at a really good pace. The computer was working great, really fast. But then all of a sudden, sometime yesterday, I only had 2 small pages open, and it just got stuck. I was trying to paste on, and it spun around, and so I shut the program, turned the program back on, tried the same thing. It just spun around. So I restarted the computer, restarted the program, and then the program wouldn't even start. So I restarted the computer, restarted the program wouldn't start. Did that like 3 times. So then I was like, guess the program won't start. If I can't do Dreamweaver, I can't do Dreamweaver with this computer because the mouse won't connect to it anymore. I need to take it to the store to get it serviced. And so I was like, well, I can't work. I literally can't work at all because my Dreamweaver just won't even turn on, which is bizarre. So, yeah, I looked over, and then I saw this, and then it finally, after trying to restart it a bunch of times, it finally appeared, like it looked like it was started, only there was this, like, spinny wheel that was this big, a huge spinny wheel, like the size of a quarter, that I've never seen before. Just going, and, like, the whole part of the Dreamweaver was blank. It was, like, grayed out, which I'd never seen before. And so I was like, okay. I guess I'll deal with it tomorrow, but I had really bad insomnia last night. So I was like, I had like literally had nothing to do. I'm like fucking around, twiddling my thumbs. It's extremely stressful to me. It's extremely stressful to me. Like hair falling out stressful. When I can't get my Dreamweaver to turn on, or I can't get my computer to turn on. Like, no, neither of my computers will turn on, or the Dreamweaver will turn on. I just freak out. It's just, and there's like nothing I can do. It's like, what did I do? So I decided, I was like, fuck it, let me just get a gym membership, That way, if the computer's just spinning around and around and around for no reason at all, and it's not because I have too many fonts on, because somebody was saying that. put too many fonts on your computer. No, the computer works fine. It's the Dreamweaver that won't start. So I finally went over to my computer and I was like, what is this like little like spinny thing? Which I've never seen before. So I hit the little trackpad and it like turned on my Dreamweaver. So it turned on Dreamweaver was actually turned on. It just took so long to turn on that little spinny wheel. The extra size spinny wheel had to turn on. So I was like, oh, whoa, my computer's working again. So after like 10 hours of trying to get Dreamweaver to turn on. So just sitting around and watching it too. Like watching paint dry. I'm just sitting here for like a half hour watching it just spin around. It's fucking crazy. I'm like, am I wasting my life? Like what? So I started working again and I managed to paste a couple. That one didn't paste for some reason. Even though it was a tiny page, it just wouldn't paste. Just spinning around, spinning. So I have to turn off the program, reboot the program. And then I was just finding out what pages I could put that on. I tried to put it on, I was trying to do bike racer levels. I did 1 kilometer, but I wasn't able to do 4 kilometers. I did 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, but not 4 kilometers. It just spun around. So, and then I tried to do it on Google Earth, one of the Google Earths. And it wasn't even a big Google Earth. It was like, yeah, it wasn't that big, and it was just spinning around. You know, I usually let it spin around for like 15 or 20 minutes before I'm like, all right, it ain't going anywhere. So I decided to just give up on that. And it was bizarre because it was starting to spin around, get stuck on pages that were way smaller than the ones that it was doing it just fine with before. So it just gets tired or something. So I decided to just give up on that, you know, and do it later, like in 10, 20 years when I have another computer. Oh, and if anybody wants to buy me a new computer, I'll totally accept that. I have a 15 and a 17. But I'm sure nobody wants to help me because I'm so bad with money. Because I bought a goddamn car stereo and I could have just bought a new computer. I didn't realize my mother would give away all my money about 1 week later. Her timing is fucking impeccable. She's like a fucking sorcerer. She's a wizard. So, and it's the stupidest phone scam too, but whatever, I won't mention it. So many stupid ass stories and she just believes whatever. The Jedi mind trick, dude, that's a real thing. There's some people who fall for it. You just do this and tell them something and they're like, yes, master. I just hope it doesn't happen again. She swears up and down that she's inoculated to it now. But anyway, what was I saying? So last night, or rather this morning before I went to sleep, I finally was like, fuck that whole thing, like with the whole side grid, I'm done with that. Let's put the images back on. So I started opening the old page and started opening the like ancient history timeline and looking at it, and there's some things, yeah, there's lots of cool stuff I can add icons to. So yeah, just dumping icons in, just which is fucking awesome. Have that sense of accomplishment instead of just watching paint dry all day long. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I guess if you do the same action over and over again, and it's just copying and pasting, but somehow it winds up your computer, and it's like it needs to defrag, or not the computer, it winds up the Dreamweaver. It needs to like unwind or something. I don't know. You have to restart the computer like 5 times. Anyway, yeah, my mom, yesterday, we went out to breakfast, and then we went out to breakfast, then we went on a walk. A pretty good walk around the park near my house. And then we were going to hang out today, and she was going to help me with my car radio sell it, because I don't want to do it alone. All I can do is work on my website. Everything else is stressful. I can kind of basically keep up with my house and my animals, but if I'm going to start going to the gym, it's like a major, like, you know, mental process I have to do to get me away from the website. So I'm not going to do that anymore because the fucking computer's working finally. But my mom was like busy doing her own business because now she's fucked financially too. She lost 4,000. So I guess she's doing taxes or whatever. So she wants to hang out with me tomorrow. But she's like, I have to talk to you. Which whenever she does that, that means you've been mean to me. There's this weird like catch-22, like unresolvable hairball of a problem, ongoing problem that I have with my mom, where she attacks me, like, and then like that I need to get a job basically, and that I need to stop working on the website because like nobody cares about it and it's stupid and like it'll never make money and all that kind of stuff. So then I just kind of defend myself, you know, with words and logic. And when you use words and logic, and you have a lot of words and a lot of logic, sometimes you have to talk really fast, really loud, because there's lots of ideas to get across. I mean, you've seen my YouTube videos, how I talk. Which my mother then, if she's already upset, interprets as me like yelling at her. So then she decides that she's mad at me for yelling at her. Not for the other original reason she was yelling at me, that I needed to get a job and everything and my life is crap. But now she's pissed at me because I'm yelling at her. And then she'll turn around and tell me that I need to get a job, and I'm like, no, but I don't need the money. And then she'll be like, I'll be like, can you please not tell me to get a job? She'll be like, oh, I never told you that. So get this. This is the weird thing. Because I'm starting to, and it took me a long time, but I'm finally, after like 20 years of doing this, I'm finally starting to create a direct comparison, a direct link between people's lack of interest in me, not just lack of interest, but like hostility towards me, and my brilliance. The more brilliant somebody becomes and original and magnificent someone becomes compared to everybody else, the smaller they become in people's minds, and the more hatred that you develop for people. And it eventually gets to the point where you're in the fucking Twilight Zone and everybody is your enemy for no reason whatsoever. I have a best friend from 8th grade who, he was like the nicest guy, and then he moved in with me, and it happened to him too. All of a sudden he's screaming his head off, like at the absolute top of his lungs at me for no reason all the time, dropping plates in front of me, dropping knives in front of me, smashing holes in my building and my wall, slamming my door, screaming, and I finally had to kick him out. And I mean, he went so crazy. He hasn't even called me since he kicked out, because he knows. Like, I didn't even have to tell him. He just fucking went crazy. It was like demons, and like nobody is safe from it. Everybody gets possessed by Satan. My mother invited my cousins over here last summer, and all they wanted to do was tell me to get a job. Both of them. They were tag teaming me. And then my mother jumps in and tells me to get a job, and I'm like, I'm fucking rich, dude. Like, do you see all the stuff I buy? Like wouldn't I sell my stuff before I would get a job? Like, I got a website. So anyways, so my mother goes away and got possessed. Got like hypnotized somehow. They have to call 40,000 people before they find somebody who's going to go and believe a story that your phone is hacked and your computer's hacked and all of your bank accounts are hacked, and so you have to drive across town to take all the money out of all of your bank accounts to put it in the cryptocurrency card or whatever. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot, totally brainwashed, totally hypnotized, like aliens, like fucking aliens getting in your head in order to do that. And that happened to my mom last week. She just goes, the exact thing happened to my mom a couple weeks ago. 1 week after I blow $8,500 that I don't even have on a car stereo, because I didn't anticipate 1 week later my mother would just give away $16,000. I didn't know. I forgot about the demon people who get in your head. So then, who get in their head, not my head. And if you don't believe me that it's pure hatred for me, look at the likes I get on my videos. Look at the comments I get on my videos. Look at how much money I've had donated to me on my Patreon. Look how much money I've had donated to me on the other one that I set up. They turned off my, they keep turning off my Patreon. I have to keep activating it again. and they turned off my PayPal. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't care, but this is what happens. They ignore you. You don't care that they ignore you. So then that's not good enough. So then they attack you, like viciously, yelling, screaming, bashing, smashing, crashing, yelling, screaming, insulting. And so then you have to cut people out. And then the one person who you have in your life, they get possessed by Satan too. It's insane. And so my mom, right, last week gives away the money. And then I'm like, all right, no big deal. I'll just sell everything. I need to work on my site though. So shut the fuck up about getting a job. And so then she sends me this email on the 25th. Here, I'll even read it in case you don't believe me that she didn't actually send this. She actually sent this fucking email to me. Look at that. Do you see it? That's the email. That's the email, right? You saw it? So this is what she wrote to me last week on the 25th. So this is 2 weeks ago. This is what my own mother wrote to me. Check it out. And we have the same exact conversation. I try to talk to her about my website. She doesn't want to hear about it. And it's the same thing, right? And so then I say, please don't tell me to get a job, because that's like the most annoying thing you could ever say to me. I don't even need the money anyway. So that's her cue to obviously tell me that I need to get a job. So she goes, you guys, you can use this or not. You guys lost around $10,000. It's actually not, it's 12,000. After she couldn't hear herself say 12,000, so she had to switch it to 10,000. She lost 16,000, but it was 4,000 from each of us. So, you guys lost around 10,000, 12,000, and this month's checks have not come in yet. So I would suggest you wait until you get this next month's check. Find out what your income is for next month. I do not want you harassing me about my mistake. You just don't let up. That's not true at all. Not true at all. It is high time you pay your way. It's high time you pay your way, and is long overdue that I pay my way. I understand you don't want to get a job like everybody else. You bought many things impulsively and still do. And still do. No, I don't. I go to the store once a day for an energy drink. I got the radio. She talked me into getting a car. Okay. If you harass me, I will shut off my phone. I don't harass her. By the way, there is nothing wrong with my computer or phone, RE security. I don't know what that's all about. Sorry about all of this. I am worn out trying to help you. She doesn't help me, I help her. I call her every day to go on walks with her. Google in Boulder has over 30 jobs advertised now. Some pay quite good. I feel your website is your calling card. Nothing wrong taking a break from your site. Nothing wrong taking a break from your site. That's like the most diplomatically she can put it. Love you and care about your future, not just today. Okay, so check it out. Do you see that? It's high time you pay your way, and is long overdue. I understand you don't want to get a job like everybody else. That, my friends, is what you call mean-spirited. And that was from 2 weeks ago, and that's from my own mother. The one person I talk to. The one person I hang out with, other than Paula, my ex-wife. But the problem with Paula is that stupid bitch doesn't even fucking have internet, right? So I have one person I talk to because I had to retreat because everybody went Satan on me. And that one person I talked to went Satan. Got possessed by the aliens. Gave away all 16,000 of my dollars and then wrote me an email. And here's where it gets really crazy. She denies sending the email. I read it to her, and only after I read it to her, after denying twice that she even sent me the email, she finally admitted that she did send the email, and she said that I read it wrong, that it wasn't sent mean-spiritedly. So I finally got her to admit that she was saying she never even said that to me. So that's what I'm dealing with, man. That's what I'm dealing with. So please, you don't want to be my friend because you're gonna suffer big time from Satan. You're gonna be in my magnificent presence. And I'm the most humble person ever you will ever meet. No ego whatsoever. No judgment, okay? It's just my ideas. All of a sudden, I'll start telling you about my ideas, and I'll tell you da-da-da-da. You'll get jealous. And then the Satan will enter you. Next thing you know, you'll be screaming at me, foaming at the mouth, throwing things across the room, telling me that I need to get a job and need to quit my website. It'll happen to everybody. It's the weirdest thing. It's Twilight Zone life, dude. I did a video last week saying, on this channel, about 2 weeks ago, titled, "I have the only website in the world," and it's true, I do. I only have the actual website in the world. Every once in a while, you'll see like an actor has a website, but you'll realize that they're not websites. It's just a collection of pictures. And then if you click on it, it'll just take them to a fucking social media site. So what people think is a website is just a collection of links to different social media sites for you. So somebody wrote, and so I said hashtag Twilight Zone Life. So I got, and the whole purpose of the video was send me a fucking, please, I'm asking the world, send me a website, because I'd like to know that there's another website. Of course, nobody sent me a video, but I did get a comment going, hashtag get help, you loser, you idiot, every blah, 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 blah. And and he actually came back to me like twice. And I'm like, dude, I'm just asking for one thing, send me a video. So he keeps coming at me as these snappy, like mean, nasty comments like a troll. And I go, dude, you had one fucking job. One job. Send me a goddamn email. I mean, not an email, a website. So he types back, he goes, I have 2 jobs. It's like, so now you're just like being funny. You think you're being funny by not answering my goddamn question? Send me a goddamn website. That's all. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do today. My mom, I guess she's pissed off at me. We just talked right now on the phone. I just read this to her. So she's steaming pissed at me for no reason. Just because I'm just defending myself, dude. But if you defend yourself against an attacker, they interpret your defense as an attack, right? They can't tell the difference. I'm just gonna go here, and luckily I feel better today. I don't feel like all that bad, but I am gonna have to ride my bike to the store pretty soon. I'll get a tomato biscuit soup and a energy drink. I smoke a bunch of weed, smoking all my weed, but yeah, and I'm just gonna like spend all day long copying like stuff and just adding the same thing, just adding images and stuff all day long, and I'm feel like I'm making progress because I keep adding stuff, so it'll keep me going. It's not frustrating like yesterday where it's just spinning around, spinning, and now just spinning around, just trying to start the program. Okay, I'm not even talking about opening up a page that's too big and trying to paste something on that's too big and then watching it spin. I mean, the program won't turn on. That's crazy. But what I find is once the program finally does kick back into gear, like right now, after you restart the computer like 10 times and try to restart the program like 10 times, it's good to go. Like right now it's fast. It scrolls, it loads, it's good to go. And you're good to go for like a week or whatever, and then all of a sudden, that'll happen again and you'll have to restart the computer like 5 times. So we're good to go now, man. This thing's kicking, this thing's functioning well. I'm listening to this book about, and you're more than welcome to buy me a computer. This is what fucking freaks me out about the world. Like, all these people have all this money. And then you have somebody that actually is building something amazing, omniscience. And let me explain to you what omniscience is. Because if I'm going to explain my website, I want to explain 99% of my website can be explained just from the concept. I don't even have to explain the design. I don't have to explain what's on it. I don't have to explain anything. All I have to explain is the concept, and then you'll get my website. So let me explain my concept. This is my website, if you want to understand what my website's all about. So whenever you understand enough facts about something, then you understand like the essence of it. Like the sum of something is greater. The whole of something is greater than the sum of its parts. Like you can't You can't describe your friend and all of their personality just by their features, you know. You can't say, oh, my friend Jimmy Joe, he's 5'9", 165 pounds, 34 years old, brown hair, blue eye. Like that. What you would need is you would need all of that information. You'd have to list like 1,000 things, and then you've got a picture, and then the things he said and did, and then you got a picture of your head around a person, and then it'll like click, and all of a sudden you'll feel like you're there, like you'll have like an emotional connection to it, like a past life connection, and so like you'll get triggered, and so like imagine if you're trying to understand the ancient world or something, and you just don't get it, and so then you have to watch all these movies and you listen to all these things and all this information, and then because of that you feel like you're in that world, you know, like everybody here in the world. This is the best way to put it. When we live in the world now, we all feel like we're in the world, you know. We all understand who the left wingers are and the right wingers are and this and this, you know, because it's all the data. So imagine the concept of understanding another world, like in the past, like the ancient Greece or something. Like you're there, and then understanding it enough because you've had enough data about it that you can fill in the blanks. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You can fill in the blanks. Like, so if somebody would say, what would, oh my God, another spam call. What would, I got like this Greece person say in this situation if you were there? Like, what would a slave do if you did this? What would he do if you said that? Because you're in the world now, because you understand it. That's what I mean by omniscience. That's what I mean. So if you can understand that concept of omniscience, then obviously you understand that in order to have that omniscience, you have to have the data. You have to have a certain amount of data, like in your head, like fused in your head, engraved in your brain, where you don't have to constantly remember and remind and think, but it's like there, because all the data is there. So the goal is to fill your head with data, so much data that all those different datas can connect with each other. Like you can see the analog between, the connection between, you know, it's no longer just random pieces of information that you're memorizing, but they're connected to each other, and then they reinforce each other. So if you wanted to like remember something, all you would have to do is remember something else, and it would lead you to the memory, you know, like if you, and that's how our memory works with our life. Like if you wanted to remember where you lived, where you grew up, you remember all the different streets, so you could trace all the streets you've been so many times back to your house. So it's the same thing with knowledge. So imagine if you did that with history, right? You know enough about history. Then when you think about that period, it's the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. You're in that world, and then you know everything about it. And you could like write a book about it. You could tell what people were feeling about each other and everything. That's what I mean by omniscience. But, and the reason that I'm saying all you need to do is the concept. I don't even need to understand the website, because you understand that you need the data. And so then how would you make a website? Well, obviously, if you want to make a website that's going to help you with omniscience, it has to show everything. It has to have everything, like no stone unturned, and it all has to be consistent in the same language, and it has to, you know, be able to link to each other, and it has to be like condensed information, where you don't have to move physically around very far to get somewhere, because you can get there, and you know, color coded, font coded, so that it works with like speed reading as well as possible. You know, books aren't designed for speed reading yet, and they should be, or at least websites should be. Where, for example, a speed reading website, if if you were gonna make a best speed reading website of Thucydides, for example, every single quote would have to be its own color and font. Every like all the quotes would have to have their own color and font. Every single like battle would have to have its own color and font. So all the battles have the same color and font. All the quotes have the same color and font. Same thing with like mentioning numbers of things, and so that when you scroll down it really fast, you can see all of these different colors and fonts popping up, and so you know, oh, that's the speech. Oh, that's the battle. Oh, that's the speech. This battle. You know what to do, and you're like memorizing it all. That's what I mean by it. So if you make a website that's just jam packed with links and fonts and colors and just concise descriptions of things, and then you look at it over and over again, you memorize it all, that you have omniscience. And then you can piece all the information in, and then you could actually basically become enlightened, like understand exactly how it's going to be in the future, because you understand so much of the past, and you understand why the world works the way it works, and like all these other things that you'd start, like that's when your knowledge just mushrooms. Because knowledge creates knowledge, and then all this new knowledge you never even knew that you could have that got triggered just because you connected these things, you know. Real knowledge comes when you connect things and you see the patterns. And so that's the whole point with my website. You know, like I have like a horizontal and then a vertical. And so you click on the horizontal and it links to the vertical. So if you can't remember what based on the image, it'll tell you. And then you click it on, takes you back up. So it works as like a flip card as well. And so it's condensed. So you want to make a website that's condensed in all the different dimensions, you know, like a certain amount of information in this area, but then you could click on it and then it would expand it out, kind of like clicking on folders and opening up new folders. You can do the same thing with knowledge. Well, that's not really how my timeline works because I have everything. That's kind of how I do my Google Earth anyways. So yeah, I'm like super excited about getting the timeline with the images across the side. So I'm just dumping them on the vertical part right now. Oh yeah, and I'm listening to all these new books on Audible. I'm doing this book about Rome. And because there's so many books that I'm just zooming through because they're all free, I'm just like falling asleep with them on. Like I'm not even listening to it. I'm just having it in the background and trying to pay attention to it. But it's kind of hard when I'm paying attention to the stuff in here, looking for things to click on, which images to use. Anyways, that's enough talking. Tomorrow, hopefully, my mom and I will get together and we'll get these, all the paperwork and stuff to sell the radio and get the ads up. If I can accomplish that tomorrow, I'm happy. Because I'm still trying to get through this kind of preliminary stage of these images. You know, I'm still like frantically like, oh my God, trying to get through this. But it'll last all through April. So, but yeah, I'd like to get to a stopping point. But I mean, I have to, I guess, tomorrow. That's why I need my mom's help. Yeah, and then after, I'll just sit back and I'll probably before I sell the radio, I'll probably sell my other things too, just all at the same time. I'll just do like one thing a day, you know, not overcook myself. And, yeah, I'll be all right. Okay, talk to you tomorrow.